Welcome back to Garage Matters. Now if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're joining us again, thanks for coming on back. Now a while back, I made a video on this 2010 Nissan Frontier on how to drain and fill your transmission fluid. Now in that video, I made a claim stating that changing your transmission fluid is probably easier than changing the motor oil. Now I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below if you want to learn how to change out your transmission fluid on this 2010 Nissan Frontier. But come on over here, let me show you guys why I made that claim. Now let's come over here and take a look at everything we need to do this oil change. Now this is going to be a messy job. That's why I've got these old t-shirts right here. We've got a drip pan to catch the dirty oil. Got a funnel to help make things cleaner. You're going to need a 14mm wrench, a torque wrench, and you're going to need an 8mm wrench or a socket. But for me, I'm going to make things a little bit quicker. I'm going to use an 8mm socket on this little drill. And then of course, you're going to need the oil. Now we're going to stay with the manufacturer's recommended oil weight, 5W30. And sometimes you can find these on sale. 5 quarts of motor oil plus a Mobil 1 oil filter. And at my local auto parts store, we'll take a look at this receipt right here. So sometimes they'll have deals, and I was able to pick this up for a subtotal of $42.99. Alright, now let me show you where we're at. This is the passenger side door, and right behind the front right tire, we're gonna go find the drain plug. So the drain plug is tucked back and under here, and it is going to be a 14mm bolt right here. All right, now you can either come from the back side of the vehicle, but I'm going to come through the front side of the vehicle. And what we're doing right now is just putting this wrench on here on the drain bolt, and then we're going to turn it counterclockwise. Now the reason why I like using these long wrenches right here is because these weird angles like this, I have more leverage. So I don't have to get in a really good position because this is so long right here. I have so much leverage that I can contort my body like this to get this broke. Alright, so we're just going to turn it counterclockwise and just break it a little. Now with the torque on this drain bolt broken, we can go ahead and loosen up this drain bolt by hand. And the reason why I didn't want to loosen it completely is because I needed the extra space to get the drip pan under here. And when you loosen it by hand, you can push the bolt inwards, applying that pressure so it doesn't start leaking out everywhere. Now once I think it's unthreaded, I'm just going to pull the bolt out real quickly. Alright, so that's pretty clean right there. So not too messy this time, but once we get to the oil filter, that's where the messy part comes in. Alright, it looks like she's done draining, so let's go ahead and grab this drain bolt, clean it off real quick, and then we're going to reinsert the drain bolt back onto the drain by hand. So we want to go by hand first to make sure that nothing is cross-threaded. Now, best practices again, down here, there is a crush washer, but once again, this is my personal vehicle. I've never replaced these crush washers, and it's always been fine. So the proper way is go ahead to replace this crush washer before you reinstall it, but this is my personal vehicle, and I've never had issues, and this is the way I do it. Now, once that's on there by hand, we'll go ahead and come back onto the head side of here and just kind of get it started. And then once it's on here, we'll bring the torque wrench, set it to 30 foot-pounds, and then torque it down. So bring in the torque wrench, go 30 foot-pounds on this bolt. Okay, and that is 30 foot-pounds in. Once you hear it click like that, you know that it's torqued properly. Now after you're done torquing it, go ahead and wipe it down. Make sure it's wiped down really good, because once we fill it back up with oil, we're going to come back down here, check this bolt, make sure nothing is leaking. Alright, so we're right in front of the tire right here, but if you look in between the tire right here, you can see the oil filter back in here. Now, in order to access this oil filter, if you've got really long arms, you could stick your arm right on over here and reach it. But there is a access cover right here that we're just gonna go ahead and unbolt. For this, I'm gonna use this drill to make things faster. Now I like using these variable speed drills because a light squeeze of the trigger, it barely moves. You pull it harder, it's gonna be too much torque. So I like going really slow on these bolts. And that's why I can use these drills on here. And then once you got that one removed, all you can do is you can slide it around like this, so you don't have to completely remove it. Let's take a look inside of here. Alright guys, so hopefully you guys can see this in the camera, but right here is the oil filter and this little drip tray right here. Once you unscrew the oil filter, all the residual oil that's inside here is going to come down this little drip tray and down through this access cover into the drip pan. So let's go ahead and remove this oil filter. Sometimes if it's not cranked on there really hard, you can just use your hand and unscrew it. So let's go ahead and see if we can get it by hand. So alright, looks like it's coming off by hand. I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of apply some slight pressure on it while I unscrew it. So I'm just gonna leave it just like this until it drains almost completely out before I remove the oil filter. Because if I remove the oil filter right here, all that oil in here is just gonna spill out everywhere, and I don't want that to happen. I'm just gonna leave it like this until it drains out. Now I think that's gonna do it for now. I don't think much more is gonna come on out. So let's go ahead and just keep unscrewing this. And then when you get this oil filter undone, try to keep it upright so the oil doesn't spill out from inside the canister. So once we undo it, we're gonna try to hold it upright. Alright, it's ready to come out. Alright, try to hold it upright. Alright, and then it's not gonna fit through that hole, so I'm gonna snake it through over here. Okay. Now let me show you what I was talking about with this oil filter. Now, obviously, you could get it to come down through here, but I was recording through there. But what I did was come through the side like this. So you come through the side like this, out and under here, holding it upright like this, and look what happens when I turn this filter to the side. Alright, you see all that oil coming out? That is why I was saying hold this filter upright, so when you're moving it around here, you don't spill it everywhere. Alright, let's toss that back in there. Now let's go grab the new filter and let this drain. Alright, let's go ahead and get this filter prepped. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say you don't need to pre-fill this filter, but this is going to be a personal preference for me. I always do it because if you install this filter empty back onto the engine, there's no oil sitting in here. So when you crank the engine initially, yeah, there's gonna be like a split second where there's no oil in here. So you gotta wait on the oil pump to send oil into this canister and then make it back out into the engine. That is why I like pre-filling it, because it just helps reduce that metal to metal contact. Even if it's by milliseconds, I truly believe it matters. So that's why I like doing it. And how I pre-fill is, I normally just grab the new bottle of motor oil, pour it in here, and then this rubber gasket right here, this O-ring, I like lubricating that O-ring as well. Stick your finger down in there, grab some of that fresh oil and just wipe it around the O-ring. And we're just gonna, probably looks like we can fill it up just a little bit more. Perfect. Now you don't want to overfill it, because when you're sticking it back in there, you're gonna have to like wiggle it side to side, and if you overfill it, it's gonna pour out when you're trying to install it. So let's just go ahead, leave it about halfway full, and then reinstall it. Alright, now let's go through the bottom to install this filter. We're gonna come back up through this hole right here and kind of slowly just feed it through here, and then line it up to the mating surface up here, and then just slowly turn it by hand. So if it doesn't line up, don't force it on there, because you don't want to cross thread it. It should just go on nice and easy. So once it's lined up, it'll start going on there. Alright, so it looks like it's starting to thread on there. I'm not holding on it, and it looks like it's threaded on there. So we'll just go ahead and keep slowly turning it until it's tight. Alright, now once it's on there, we are just gonna go a quarter turn by hand, and that should be good enough. So no need to wrench it on there really hard. So, alright, that's about good. Hand tight is good. Alright, so that is on there good. So we are done with the filter. Alright, so back underneath here, it doesn't look like it's too dirty down here, because I was taking my time trying to make sure I didn't make a mess anywhere. But look down here, it's not that messy at all. It's not that messy, but it can be worse than this. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Next thing we gotta do is just go ahead and clean all this up down here. All of this residual stuff right here, we're just gonna wipe it down. And then oil filter's on there good. And then we're just gonna flip this cover back around and then reinstall the bolt down here. Now it's time to go ahead and fill up the oil. Let's go ahead and get this cap removed. So this one right here, all you're gonna do is just turn it counterclockwise, and then we're gonna set the cap to the side. Grab a funnel, stick it right here, just like that for now. Now over here, I'm gonna use the 5-quart jug first. That way I can empty this out. And once it's empty, what I'm gonna do, get the old oil in here, use the spout, pour it back into this jug right here, and then I can bring it back to my local auto parts store, and they're gonna recycle it for me. Now, if you're worried about how to dispose of your oil, that is what you do. You bring it back to them, and they're gonna recycle it for you. Now let's go ahead and grab this jug and fill up this oil over here. Now we just wanna make sure we support the funnel, and then just start pouring it in. And once again, we're gonna empty this whole entire jug. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour about half a quart of this little bottle in here, because I know it's gonna need more than just 5 quarts. So we're gonna pour about 5.5 into this vehicle. Well, that should be good for now. And we'll go ahead, put everything back together, take the funnel out, put the cap back on, make sure you put it back on. Then we're gonna check the oil level down in here on the oil dipstick. Now to check the oil, you're gonna pull this yellow dipstick right here. Just go ahead and pull it out. Okay, we're gonna wipe it clean and then reinsert it. That way we could get a good reading on it. Now once it's reinserted, go ahead and pull it back out. Now we're gonna check the level. Now there's 2 dots on this dipstick, and let's see if I can show you guys better, but right here and right here. So on this vehicle, you wanna make sure it's in between these 2 dots right here. It's all the way up to this dot up here, so I know that it's full and there's plenty of oil inside this engine. Let's go ahead and put this dipstick back inside the engine. Now before we crank it up, let's go ahead and check underneath the vehicle again to make sure that the drain plug is not leaking. Alright, so there's the drain plug. It looks nice and dry. No issues at all. Let's go ahead, hop inside the vehicle and start her up. Now once you let the engine idle for about 5 minutes, go ahead and shut it off and then wait another 5 minutes and then check the oil. I've already did that, so let's go ahead and check the oil one last time. Alright, so now if you look at the oil, it is in the middle. So earlier, before we started the engine up, it was at the high side, but it's right in the middle now. And the reason why it's in the middle or it dropped is because the oil had time to go ahead and cycle through the engine. So now I know that the oil level is properly full and I can go ahead and wrap things up. Now we're all done with the oil change on this vehicle. There's nothing else that we need to do. It is all done. Best part about having an older vehicle such as this 2010 Nissan Frontier is that there's no service reminders that you have to reset. Now as you can tell from this video, doing the oil change on this 2010 Nissan Frontier actually took a little bit longer and there's a couple more steps involved when it came to changing the oil. And that is why when I made my video on how to drain and fill your transmission fluid on a 2010 Nissan Frontier, I said that this is actually easier than doing your oil change. Now remember, these are things that you could do in your very own garage. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and join us next time on Garage Matters.